Hello and welcome back to Sounds of Silvestri, a chronological journey through the continuing filmography of Alan Silvestri. On today's episode, we'll be covering Summer Rental from 1985. My name is Clarence, but you can call me the Barnacle. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Grace, aka Sailboat Regatta.
Come on through. I'm Joe Public. Welcome to my beach.
I heard that aspect of the movie, along with some other parts, were based on a real experience that the co-writer
Yes.
had. Yeah. He rented a house
Silly.
and just had a terrible, terrible time. Just
Mm-hmm.
people walking past, looking in his windows while they're trying to have
Yeah.
breakfast. It's like,
Well, I think it was like the fact that John Belushi invited people. Like,
just come
yeah.
come on into this guy's
Mm-hmm.
house. He won't mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make yourself at home. Was your family a big like summer vacation family? Like go and rent someplace, or did you like do camping or?
Yeah, there was a period where I went to the beach, and then I
Okay.
think I said, I don't like the beach. Let's go somewhere else. And then we did more camping and stuff like that. So we haven't
Yeah.
been on a beach vacation in, gosh, uh, maybe at 15 years.
Wow. Overdue.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Are you a beach guy? I'm not the biggest beach person.
No, it's not. It's not the highlight of a summer
Mm-mm.
trip for me. No.
Yeah. No, I'd rather go many other places than go to a
Hmm.
beach. I like the idea of it, but I don't actually like being there and in the sun and in the sand and yeah.
Well, especially if it's as busy as it is in this movie.
Oh my
Like,
God, yes.
can't
No, thank you.
walk an inch without stepping on somebody's hand.
Yeah, I'd much rather go to a pool than to the ocean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you do, were you like tent campers or did you have a pop up or what did you do?
Yeah, so we were mainly tent campers, and I was also a
Okay.
Girl Scout, so lots of tent camping
Sure.
then. Um, my parents do have a pop-up now, like a trailer
Mm,
pop-up that they use, and they go camping quite often. They try to go 3 or 4 times a summer. There's usually at least one place they go to in Michigan. Normally it's Traverse City. This year it wasn't because the campsite was under construction, but yeah, they try to go
okay.
out. And I haven't gone. We realized that like as a family, we have not all gone on vacation together in almost 10 years.
Wow.
It's normally I'm not going, like normally I'm not the one, so we're trying to plan something for later in the summer for all four of us to go. So hopefully that'll be fun.
Yeah, well, I hope you're able to pull that together. That would be nice. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about it. I think it's probably been about the same for my family. We went on a big camping trip with like my parents and I and my siblings and my nephew, who was still really little. So it must have been, yeah, almost 10 years for us too. It's just, but my parents are both retired now and they have a little pop-up camper. So
Mm-hmm.
all they do is go on little trips. They love to
Yeah.
go camping in the fall because the campsites are always just empty,
And
because
so much cheaper.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's a little bit cooler at night, but they've got
Mm-hmm.
like a little like propane heater that hooks up in the camper,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it's perfect. But yeah, we used to do tent camping for like a very short period of time, and then we all kind of decided like, well, this kind of sucks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting a good night's sleep. I'm always waking up damp. Why are we doing this? And so then they got a
Yeah.
little like 2-bed pop up camper.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it would suck tent camping when the tarp doesn't completely cover the bottom and then
oh
like
my
it's just
God.
like the moisture seeping in. No, thank
It
you.
and it even with a sleeping bag, it always felt like I would end up laying on a rock. Like
There's
there's
always
a
a rock.
rock
No
poking
matter
me in the
which way you
spine.
move,
Yeah.
there's another one. Do you have a favorite camping food to make or eat?
Oh. Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with the classic hot dogs on a stick. That's iconic,
Can't say I've
but
ever done that.
oh my God. Well,
But I just don't like hot dogs. That's
yeah,
just me.
well that cuts down on it.
Mm-hmm.
We also always do this thing called pudgy pies. I don't know if you've heard of those.
I haven't heard like that. What is it?
Okay, well, I'll describe it, and maybe they have a different term for it in Ohio, but it's basically like two I don't
Pie
even know how to do
irons?
it. Yeah, like two irons, and then you fill it up. You put a piece of bread on either one, and then you put in your filling, and you clamp it down.
Yeah,
And having it in the fire, kind of seals it up. What do you call that?
just pie iron pies or pie iron pizzas.
Pie iron pizza. Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we always call them pudgy pies.
What do you put in them?
Well, you would either have your savory or your dessert. So you do like a pizza version with the sauce and like pepperoni and stuff.
And like the shittiest white bread. It has to be like the
Of
worst white
course.
bread.
No, it won't work with like a fancy smancy
No.
wheat bread. Yeah, it's got to be like the shitty, the shittiest,
Schwabels,
cheapest
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And then for the dessert one, you would do, like a pie filling. So like the cherry pie
Mm-hmm.
filling or whatever.
Yeah, I guess when you said pudgy, I just thought of chocolate pudding, which that doesn't make any sense. But
I,
that's what I was imagining.
yeah, scalding hot chocolate pudding in
Did
between
you
two
ever
pieces of
have
bread.
kids cuisine growing up?
Of course. Of
I,
course. A
I liked it except
delicacy.
for the hot pudding because you had to microwave the whole tray, right? And then the pudding got warm, and I didn't like that.
It was a real design flaw in the Kid Cuisine.
Yeah.
I loved the
Mm-hmm.
ads though, and the
Was it
mascot
was it
was
a little
great.
penguin guy who's the
Yeah,
mascot?
they
Yeah.
probably changed it now. It's probably
Do you
something.
think? Hold on.
Yeah, let's look it up. They
Is it kids
whitewashed it just like
cuisine?
they've done with all the other ones.
I just saw a picture. Oh, he's scary now. Hold on, I'm taking a screenshot and
He's
sending
been
it to
through a
you.
lot. The past few years, everybody's been through a lot, and the Kid Cuisine penguin is no exception.
They like DreamWorks him,
Oh
or
no.
what do you want to call that?
The one other thing about Pudgy Pies is
God, he looks crazy compared to what he used to look like. Sorry, I just saw an old picture as if it's not animation, but
an old snapshot, his high school yearbook photo.
yeah, okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
did
here we
send it
go.
to you. I'm not sure I didn't send it to someone else.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. It's too detailed. I think that's the issue. He looks too much like
It's like
what?
too grounded,
Yeah.
right? Like
What did
it's
he
too
look like
realistic of a
originally?
penguin.
Kids Cuisine. Why would they
This is
change
like
him? He was.
distressing to look at. Like and he has to have a little soccer jersey. What? No one's pretending Kid Cuisine is healthy.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, take one look at it and you know it's not. Oh, see, this is gonna ruin my memory of Kid Cuisine. Looking at these pictures of what it actually looks like, because in my head, it's like this is good stuff.
I don't know if I liked the all-star nuggets or the popcorn chicken. Don't know which one was the one that had the warm pudding.
You got your warm pudding, you got your cream corn, you got your mac and cheese.
Ew.
Part of a balanced
Yeah.
meal.
I forgot the corn was there. Yeah, probably the all-star chicken nuggets, which probably wasn't real chicken anyways, but
No,
um
pink slime.
God, these look awful.
Kids today have it so good with these
Did you
kids
eat
meals.
anything like did you ever eat Lunchables or anything like that
We
as a
did.
kid?
That was well, you see, when I was growing up, I have two older siblings, two older half siblings who are, quite a bit older than me. And so by the time that I was growing up, my mom had kind of learned all the healthy parenting lessons. And so,
Yeah.
and then around that time, she was also, doing some dieting. And so the rest of us had to
Oof.
diet as
Make
well.
do.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I never got to enjoy all the good stuff. It was a special occasion if I got a Lunchable or a Kid Cuisine.
We were always we got Kid Cuisines if we were getting babysat by a older friend, and then we always got a Lunchable on our birthday. That was our lunchbox meal. So I
It's
always
a
got
special occasion.
the nachos one, and I didn't like salsa
Mm.
back then, so it was just straight cheese, which that isn't an issue. But
I always loved you got your little like Ritz cracker, you've got your circular cheese, and you got your little
see, I'm
circular
not
piece of turkey or whatever the fuck it was, bologna probably.
ham. Yeah,
Ham, yeah.
I'm not a lunchmate person.
Yeah.
So
No,
the
it was
nachos was
never
probably
good.
the
I
only
mean,
one I
it
could.
was always slimy. So it's
Slimy.
yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I don't really know if I want to know about Lunchables, right? Like it's just like
No, you
they're
don't want to
there.
dig too much into that.
Mm-mm.
There can't be anything good down that rabbit hole.
No.
Certainly
Absolutely
not.
not. Yeah.
No.
Their website makes you choose whether you're a parent or a child.
Yeah, if
What
you're a
is the
parent, it
child
gives you
page?
all the secret information.
And the kids one, it just says there's a banner that says this is advertising.
That's no.
Okay. Well, we're tangenting already, which is good.
It's yeah, I think we should
Get into the
we
movie first before we go farther.
well no, I was going to say I think we should just get out of the way that you did not enjoy this movie very much. So there may be more tangents than usual.
It just
Uh
didn't grab me any which way.
mhm.
Honestly, it would be better if I disliked it. I'm just so indifferent.
Yeah.
Which is one of the hardest times to talk about a film, right? Is when you are just like, you don't care, take it or leave it, which is kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at right now. But I'm excited to
Just
talk to
kind of
you. about this and many other things.
My John Candy bias and the one or two small beers I may have had while watching the movie probably
A
impacted
few
my
small beers.
enjoyment. But well, before we get into that, I think we have to do our favorite segment here. I don't know why it cut off so suddenly that time. That was weird.
It was
Well,
done.
this is clearing the air. This is where we either apologize for erroneously sharing false information in past episodes, or we bring to light new information that could supplement things that we've chatted about. And
Hmm.
Grace, you mentioned that you've got something, right?
Yes. So I guess first I'll mention that last week we talked about personal papers in archives, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, where are Burt Lancaster's? I can't find them
Okay.
because I mean, I didn't do a whole bunch of digging. I'm sure if I looked into institutions that he either went to or was a part of in some way, I could maybe dig deeper there. But in a cursory search, I did not find anything. There is a Bill Lancaster who also worked in film that has papers at a college in California, but it's unrelated.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe eventually I'll keep looking, but in this moment in time, no, I can't find them. And then I was informed that last week you sort of, I don't know if you rhetorically asked this,
Mm-hmm.
but you asked if Power of Love is the best song written for a movie.
Yes.
And I didn't prep for that question, so I didn't have an answer, but I think I have one now.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what I'm going to say, or do you want me to just go for it?
I think you should just go for it. There's just.
I think that the best song written specifically for a movie
Mm-hmm.
is Rainbow Connection for the Muppets movie.
That's a great choice. That's a. I didn't realize. I didn't realize that was written just for the movie. I figured that was like
Mm-hmm.
a wow. No, that's a very good choice. God, I love that song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, The Danger Zone, right? Kenny Loggins is another great one, but
Another great one.
just Rainbow Connection is just another level, right?
I feel like
It's
Kenny
wonderful.
Loggins has a bunch of great songs written specifically for movies. Because what's the one from Caddyshack?
Oh, I thought you were saying
I'm
what's the one
all
for
right.
Footloose.
Footloose, yeah, that too.
Yeah, I haven't seen Caddyshack,
Okay, well that'll come up
which,
later.
yeah, and I think that's just also partially, we'll talk, yeah, we'll talk.
Mhm.
It has two actors I'm not very fond of in it, so
That's the issue with '80s movies is
sometimes there's just a couple of guys that ruin it for me.
and oftentimes it's the same couple of guys.
I mean,
They
I
just
wasn't gonna
keep
say that,
popping
but
up.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't escape them.
No. What was Bill Lancaster in? Has he been in
I
anything?
think he was, hold on. He was maybe a writer. The
Mhm.
collection consists of multiple drafts, revisions, and extensive notes for Lancaster's produced films The Bad News Bears, The Bad News Bears
Oh,
Go to Japan, and The Thing. There's a small amount of correspondence related to the first Bears film and production reports for the sequel.
oh, he's the son of Bert.
Okay.
Hmm.
The
Sure,
son of Bert.
the son of Bert.
Um,
That's what they called him.
but yeah. Bert and Norma Anderson. Yeah, but he died really young, right?
49,
Yeah.
heart attack. Oh, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm. So the papers were donated by the Lancaster family in 2019. So I wonder if they have stuff, or maybe I mean, at a certain point, people also weren't keeping things. It just depends on like whether you thought to keep them or
That's
not.
the
This is
thing.
through the Online Archive of California, which is from the UC libraries.
If you're gonna keep your papers, you have to have like the thought in the back of your head, like, are people actually gonna want to see these things? Am I going
Mm-hmm.
to build enough of a legacy that like it's going to be worth it to maintain this? But
Yeah, you have to have a certain amount of ego
hmm
to
and he didn't. I
understand
don't know
early on
if
enough that you'll be important enough, I guess.
yeah. I mean the thing screenplay alone, I think, would have been worth hanging on to. But yeah, I mean he was 49 when he died, not quite old enough to have really like
Mm-hmm. It seems like he
solidly
worked on a
built
lot
a
of things.
legacy. Have you ever seen The Bad News Bears, the original one?
I feel like our parents put that on when we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
thinking it was gonna like it's one of those things like, oh, like we remember it from when we were kids, like this is gonna be so fun.
And then
And
they
then
drop the
all
hard
I
R.
remember is that all I remember is the coach throws beer on the kids' faces at one
Yeah.
point. And I don't remember anything else but that. So there might be more that's there, but I simply have no recollection. I don't know.
Well,
What about you?
and of course the coach is one of your favorite actors, Walter Matthau.
Is it really?
Yeah, the original one. Yeah,
Wow.
in the remake it was Billy Bob Thornton, which is I don't know
I
if
guess
I've
I
ever
didn't realize
seen. Yeah,
that it was actually a remake and not just a direct sequel. I don't know why in my mind I was like, oh yeah, certainly a sequel. at Pitt, there's a second draft screenplay of the thing that I was able to leaf through, which was super cool. Yeah, and like a Nightmare on Elm Street annotated script. I mean, there's a ton of cool stuff in that horror archive. There's Edie McClurg. There's her resume and her headshots
Oh
in one
yeah,
of the production
I
things for
remember you
Carrie.
sharing that.
Yeah, maybe I'll send the screenshot. We can do that for out of context.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a lot of fun just to like leaf through things like that.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to do that. That's on my list of things to do if I ever make it over there.
Journey across a few states to get there.
Yeah, just to see the archive, just to see Edie McClurg's headshots.
Headshots. I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
They're definitely character work.
Well, speaking of character work, do we want to get into our movie for this this episode?
Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, let's get it over with. Okay. Jack Chester is an overworked air traffic controller who nearly causes a mid-air collision on the job and gets sent on a forced 5-week vacation. He packs up his wife and 3 kids and heads to Citrus Cove, Florida, where absolutely nothing goes right. The family gets bumped from a restaurant by an arrogant local sailing champion named Al Pillay, moves into the wrong house by mistake, and ends up in a rundown beach shack with a landlord in the ICU. When the landlord dies, Pillay takes over and tears up Jack's rent check just to be spiteful, ordering the family out. Jack's response? Challenge Pillay to a sailboat race at the upcoming Citrus Cove Regatta. Win, and the family stays rent-free. Lose, and they pack up and go home immediately. There's just one problem. Jack hasn't sailed in years. With the help of Scully, a local hook-handed dive bar owner, the whole family rolls up their sleeves to fix up the Barnacle, Scully's beat-up old boat, for a shot at Pillay's sleek racing vessel. Scully throws everything overboard to lighten the load, a strong breeze kicks in, and Jack hoists his pants as a sail to push them over the finish line first. All they wanted was a little sun and sand. Turns out you never really know what you're getting when you book a summer rental.
That was great.
Better than the movie?
Yeah, you made it sound really interesting.
I completely cut out the part where the neighbor keeps asking everybody to check out her boob job.
Hey, I mean, she's proud of it, right? She spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, $2,000. They look great. They feel great.
What did you do the inflation calculator for that?
Of course I did. So
Never in doubt.
So $2,000 for breast augmentation in 1985 would be about $6,229 today. So
It doesn't seem too bad.
no,
I don't know
she
what
got
the
her
current
money's
rate
worth.
is, but
Yeah. Yeah, somebody write in, tell us what the going rate is for breast augmentation these days.
I'll be clear.
And it wasn't, I mean like a standard job, not like a ridiculous, over the top kind of thing. Don't get too crazy.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to start with the score like we always do? There's not very much to talk about here. It's not very
there
present.
Isn't. I know you and I both listened to the commentary by Joe Ramone. Is that how you say his last name?
I think so.
Ramone. And he does a little segment on Alan's score, and he talks about it in a way that I think is just very simplistic. He says, it's like 80s montage music. It's very light, captures an island flair, and it's not overdone. And that's sort of all you can, like, there's not a whole bunch to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a bop, right? Like the main theme is pretty good. You get like an island flair, right? You get like, I don't know if you get like steel pan drums, but it's reminiscent of what you would think you would hear in another movie that's like this. Yeah, it's fun. It moves along, but I do think it's missing from a significant chunk of this movie.
Yes. There's so much of the movie where, I mean, like there's no needle drops, there's no score, it's nothing. It's just silent except for the dialogue in a really weird way.
Yes.
To me, it was reminiscent of some of his work on Romancing the Stone. Because I remember for that episode, I said that it reminded me of one of the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong games.
That's right, yeah.
And I was kind of getting that feeling with this too. It felt like that movie a lot. And then like, I think I messaged you that I listened to the theme song and it reminded me of some of like the tropical Mario Kart courses. Like it's the same kind of looping, like
a little bit like Coconut Mall.
Coconut Mall, yes, exactly.
But it's a little electronic,
Mm-hmm.
in the same way that Cat's Eye is.
Yes.
which, take it or leave it. But I do think that makes it seem like what I said again for Cat's Eye, a little bit more hollow. And I don't think there's much variation with it. We get a theme, we get some like riffs on that,
Yeah.
but then we just come back to it at the end, which is fine. But like for a movie that doesn't have a lot of action, and then the action being a slow moving regatta with dramatic music, but doesn't really match what's happening on screen.
It's just a boat catching up to another boat to win a little trophy. Yeah, there's.
Yeah. I mean,
what did you say in your
pride is
review
on the
about the
line.
stakes? Yeah.
That they're theoretical.
Yeah.
That they're actually not there.
Yeah. The stakes are, either you pay for the last 2 weeks of rent or you go home. Those are the stakes.
Yeah.
It's very.
And
yeah.
Do you have more score notes before we get into the plot?
Well, this is going to be very. This is a lot of whiplash, coming from our most recent episode of Back to the Future, where I think we spent upwards of 30 minutes talking about the score, and then we're going to do 2 minutes
maybe
here.
done 4.
Yeah. I had a couple other things, very short. One of the other ones is that I liked the number during the boat improvement montage at the end when like all the family is helping out. I couldn't tell if it was like synth or like a marimba or something, but I really liked it. And then this is sort of not really the score, but the soundtrack. There's this great song from Jimmy Buffett that it plays also during the boat improvement, but then you get the full song over the credits. That song was like never released on any of his albums. It was never released as a single.
It's unreleased to the point where like for this movie and then for Critical Condition, which we'll cover later, they did a deluxe CD release of the scores, and it's not on there either. Like there is just, and that was like 2014, I think.
Right.
So I don't know who's holding this and won't release it, but it is a bop. Like I think it's definitely like not Jimmy Buffett at his best, but like it's what you want from a Jimmy Buffett song, right? Like it hits all the marks.
Are you a big Jimmy Buffett head? What do they call them? They have
Parrot heads, right? Is that right?
I think that's probably right. Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't know. Okay, well, I'm gonna write that down to maybe correct for next week.
Parrot heads. It's. I think it is something with parrots because they wear like the like Hawaiian tropical shirts or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. I like Jimmy Buffett. When I was little, with the same family that we would get the Kids Cuisine with when they babysat, we made a dance we'd do a routine to Cheeseburger in Paradise quite often with like the kid plastic food.
Yeah.
And then I like his song with the Zac Brown band, Knee Deep. Is that where he's like has a verse in that and he plays a mandolin?
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that one.
It's fun.
I feel like
but not like that. I'm not like a true diehard Jimmy Buffett fan. I was sad when he died, But
have you ever been to one of his restaurants?
No, actually, there was one here, and I think it closed down, and we never went.
We had one here as well near the theater that I always go to, and it's strange. It closed right around the time that he died, so it's like I always
was it in his will?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you need to close the Wauwatosa, Wisconsin Jimmy Buffett restaurant when I pass. It's contingent.
Yeah, it's permanently closed.
I do love Cheeseburger in Paradise. That's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Margaritaville. Yeah. But yeah, you can't find it anywhere. And you talk about the commentary. He brings that up too, where he's like, when you search for it on the internet, the only thing you're going to find is other people asking where they can find this song.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can pull it off of the credits, but there's been no like high quality
there was no like
reprocessing
of the award. Yeah.
Yeah. And then talking about how Ramone talks about the score, he talks about Silvestri a little bit, and the quote that I have from him that I really liked because I feel like it sort of encapsulates what we're doing in this show is he said, "It's just so cool when you see these composers who did these massive hits like Back to the Future or Forrest Gump, but then also do these small little movies, but they do it with the same passion that they would for a huge blockbuster movie." And I'm like, yes, exactly. Exactly. That's what we're trying to say here.
I do want to know, when did he work on this? Like when, because the production schedule for this was really tight as well. Same with Back to the Future, where I think they started filming this in March and they needed it out by August. Like a crazy short, like 6 to 9 weeks of production. So I'd be curious to know like when he physically had time to do this. But maybe if he was, yeah, because like if we're talking about like 1985, Back to the Future comes out.
Mm-hmm.
What
For 4th of July weekend.
4th of July, and then this comes out a month later.
August, yeah.
When is he getting the work done? Because
Maybe
we
it
can
was the
see
same
that he was
thing. Yeah, it was the
you
same
can see
thing as
that he
Michael
was
J. Fox, where he's just not sleeping.
he's not sleeping at all. He
Yeah.
actually has the bed in the back of the transpo truck. But yeah, because you see him in Back to the Future like truly collaborating, but like
Yes.
I don't know what the process with this was. So yeah, just
Yeah,
an
maybe.
interesting
Well, I mean,
wrinkle.
and maybe that affects, you mentioned it's kind of just the main theme and then sort of riffs on that theme, and maybe that's part of it, is that like, because I mean, if you're going to prioritize two different projects that you're doing at the same time, I don't know that
Yeah.
this movie would have been number one. I think you're gonna your priority is gonna be the thing being produced by Steven Spielberg. Just for
certainly.
me personally.
Yeah.
Did you have, unless you had any other score notes, what was your big point on this one? What was standing out for you?
I think what stood out to me is that big picture, I think the plot sort of amounts to nothing in the way that like I feel like we're supposed to, partially this is informed by the commentary talking about how there are lots of aspects of this that were taken out or they didn't have time to rewrite. Like this was the first draft that got picked up. And I think you see
they
that.
didn't expect it to be picked up in the condition it was, yeah.
And I think you see that in like the lack of character development and the way that the plot threads just unravel and they don't come together. Like in the way that, so there's the guy that's played by John Larroquette, and apparently in one draft of this, he was supposed to be like truly a competition for the wife's affections, but audiences didn't like that. But you still kept enough of that in that you're like, oh, is this going anywhere? And then he's gone for the middle of the movie. And you don't see him till the end.
Yeah.
Where there are things that like John Candy and the son are really bad at volleyball, but in the son's bedroom there's like a #1 volleyball player trophy or something. And I just think that it's kind of messy in the way that sometimes it just happens when you are rushed into production. But I didn't find that really fulfilling or satisfying in any way.
Yeah, and the ending is just kind of anticlimactic as well. Like they win the race and then it's just boom right into credits.
Yeah, I
like,
looked down trying to know, and then it was over.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I wrote down like, that's it. That's the end. Like there's nothing. We don't see him. We don't see him go back to work like a more relaxed person. We don't see. Yeah, and he what was the guy's name? Ramoni mentions in his commentary like they cut out a bunch of stuff that would have shown the family's like everyday life in Atlanta before going on the trip as well, because it's like it's 6 minutes in and we're already like arriving.
We're on the road.
we're arriving at the summer rental.
Because I would love to see more of his like breakdown at work, right? Like how bad has it gotten where the only solution is to offer him 5 weeks of paid vacation?
Yeah, not
like
offer, force. Like
force, yes.
Yeah.
Like how what does your staff look like that you can just kick off one of your guys for 5 weeks? I don't know, what's that budget, right? But I just feel like it wasn't enough. When I talk about theoretical stakes, like there were lots of little beats that I think could have been more.
Yeah.
Like it could have been like he would have a horrible time at work and he's trying so hard and it's just like not clicking and he needs to like he's literally burnt out. Like that could have been something. Or what's the wife's character's name? I don't actually know what her name is, which is bad.
That's a good question.
Is it Sandy? Yeah. Sandy?
Yeah.
Right, that's the wife?
Yep.
There's also
Jack
like
and Sandy.
If Sandy had sort of returned Don his affections because he's paying attention to her, right? Like he's interested in what she's interested in, and then John Candy would be like, oh, I have to change what I'm doing or how I'm behaving to make like just to like work on yourself. And I feel like there's none of that. I don't feel like there's any character development. He changes, right? But it's like he changes because he's forced to by his circumstances and not like any inner motivation.
Right. He's not making the decision himself. Yeah. And yeah, Ramoni talks about how it was going to be like almost like a parallel where Jack is spending all this time with Scully, the possibly a pirate at the dive bar, and then
undetermined.
He's got a hook hand in 1985 for some reason, and then Sandy is spending all this time with Don. So it's like you've got those parallel plot lines there. But yeah, you're right. We see Don and he's like, oh, I'll pay for your kids' tickets. And then the daughter, Jennifer, is like talking to Don's teenage son. And it's like, oh, are they going to have some sort of fling here, and then
Yeah.
it's completely dropped. It doesn't go anywhere.
And
It's very odd.
the commentary, I feel like every sentence we start with is the commentary, but the commentary was actually super important, super informative, and it
Yeah,
talked about how a lot of things were cut because of test screenings,
yeah.
and I wonder what like the first draft, first draft of the movie was like, and if that,
Hmm.
like looking on, if that would make more sense to not cut it down to like the 86 minutes that it is, and sort of let it be expanded, if that would work more or less.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's only it's only 86 minutes. It's very thin.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, the head of Paramount at the time had just come on, and they gave him the script on a Thursday, and he had like basically given it the green light by the following Monday, because he realized that
Yes.
they needed something to squeeze in the summer. So I don't know, maybe it felt like to me like he was just like, we just need something. Like it doesn't have to be
Which is fair. Sometimes that
right.
happens, but yeah, it's just like,
You can still
God.
make it good. You can still like put
Mm-hmm.
in an interesting story.
Yes.
And I think maybe if they, like we said, they were surprised that the first draft got approved. Maybe if they had had some more time to, to like double down on some of the jokes, or just like do some more development, I think it would have
Mm-hmm.
been really
Something.
improved. Something.
And I don't think any of like the cinematography, any of the shots are particularly remarkable, right? I think it's
Yeah.
just pretty standard. And there's like goofs and gags, but like that only gets you so far. Like John Candy's doing his best, but like I think what he's been given is not great.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he can elevate the material to a certain extent, but I, we talked about the production timeline. They did, I think it was like 7 weeks that they filmed,
It
and
was
just
really tight.
yeah, just like Back to the Future, they were editing while they went, so it's
Yeah.
like they're just trying to get this thing out.
Well, and there's
And
some
yeah,
scenes that have so many extras, right? Like you can't like that takes a long time if you have to
yep.
reset and things like that.
Well, and they even said like, because they didn't have much time, they didn't have a huge budget. A lot like most everything is shot on location, in St. Petersburg Beach, Florida. So like they're
Have you been?
no, I've never been to Florida. Period. Actually. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We went to St. Pete 2 years in a row
Okay.
for vacation.
So
But
you may have seen some of these locations and not
maybe
realized
none of
it.
them
Yeah.
looked really familiar. I think the only ones I remembered is there's a the Don Cesar Hotel and it was pink or something like that. And I don't know if that still exists. Yeah, it was this giant cute pink hotel. Anyways, yeah, I think they talked about like they were forced to shoot the interiors of the exteriors that they'd already used, which
Yep.
that's like that's tough all on its own.
Right. You're just stuck with
Um,
whatever the house looks like, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the restaurants too. Like the high
Mhm.
end like lobster place that they go to is a real restaurant. The Barnacle is part of a real like dive bar.
Ramoni was really happy to mention that.
Yeah, he's like, it's still there. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean
Yeah.
that just speaks to the constraints of, what they were doing with this movie. It's
Mhm.
yeah. But talking about John Candy a little bit,
Yeah.
you messaged me when we were prepping for this episode just to ask if I had any recommendations for like John Candy movies.
Mhm.
Because you said like the only one that you really remember him from is Home Alone.
I hadn't ever seen him in something where he was the star. Like
Right.
he is in Home Alone, he's in I think I saw him in Spaceballs, right? Like he's in
Mm-hmm.
JFK for a memorable couple of moments and Cool Runnings, but like nothing with him as like the lead, like nothing like top billing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides this one now, I guess.
Yeah. And this was his first like American lead role. Like he had
Mhm.
done some Canadian stuff.
I always
But
forget that he's Canadian. I don't
yeah,
know why
you
that
can
won't
kind of
stick with
hear it
me.
in a couple of the
Yeah, some of them.
scenes, not
Yeah, some of them,
necessarily in
yeah.
this movie, but in like other ones. He's like, "I'm sorry." It's always the sorry that gives away
It's
the
like yeah,
Canadians.
the vowel tones I think
Yeah,
is where it really comes out.
but yeah, after this kind of launched him. Just a few years later, he would be in The Great Outdoors, which is kind of if you haven't seen it, it's a very similar idea, not necessarily plot wise, but it's like a
Mhm.
guy takes his family on a summer vacation and nothing goes right.
Yeah.
But it had a higher budget. It had Dan Aykroyd. It had John Hughes writing it. So it's like,
Mhm.
it's a it's a better version of what this movie could have been.
And this movie in itself is like sort of based on National Lampoon, so it's like it's neither like of either end of like the timeline is not the best version that it could be.
Yeah, I mean, National Lampoon's Vacation had just come out 2 years before this, so inevitably you get comparisons to that. And I mean, that was like a huge hit, obviously, because it spawned all the sequels. And actually, our research assistant, Eric, who watched this movie and tagged his Letterboxd review with Sounds of Sylvester, he brought up National Lampoon as well. Among other things, he said that he felt like John Candy was doing his best Clark Griswold impression. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like Chevy Chase gives off more of like a cynical, like sleazy vibe than John Candy.
No, I think John Candy's earnest.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think anything that Chevy Chase does is.
And maybe that's just what we're aware of their personal, yeah. But it feels like with the Vacation movies, it almost feels like Clark Griswold is trying to be sincere, but it never feels real. Like you can always feel like that
he's like
sharp
smarmy
edge to
about
it.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in this one, it almost felt like there were certain points where John Candy was like trying to be cynical or like mean, but it's the opposite problem where like it's not coming off as real because you're like, he's just a nice guy. Like this isn't
John,
like even when he's yelling at somebody, it's calling somebody a son of a bitch for cutting him off in traffic. It's like, you're not you're not fooling me.
Mm-hmm. What else do you like about his performance in this?
One of the things I wrote down, I think he's one of the all-time comedic screamers, like up there with Gene Wilder. There's just there's something about like talking about when he's yelling at the guy in traffic. There's something about what he does with his voice when he yells. You son of a bitch! Why don't you come back and try that again? You moron! Later on in the movie, when for some reason everybody on the beach has decided to just let themselves into their rental.
That's so stupid. Like, sorry, like just like as a beachgoer, what are you thinking in that moment?
They're just like, well, I guess everybody else is going in here, but he goes upstairs and there's some guy who's only billed as Fat Man, just laying in his bed, smoking cigarettes, watching the Smurfs, and he's like. He doesn't say get the fuck out, but I mean that's the tenor of the scene. He's like, that's the subtext.
That's the beat. Yeah, he's
like, get out, and the guy's like, well, no, I'm watching the Smurfs. He's like, oh, you're watching the Smurfs?
Did you see the one where Papa Smurf took a crutch and smashed the shit out of a guy with a red hat? Did you see that one? You want to see that one?
Like anytime he starts to yell, it cracks me up. He does it a lot in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay.
Which is another great John Candy performance that I recommend to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He and Steve Martin are fantastic in that. But
he does a lot of good. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say he does a lot of good acting with a leg injury. I like the physical acting there.
I was surprised by two things. I was surprised by how long he has his like lobster red sunburn. And how
long makeup constantly reapplying that? Like, how are they getting that consistency there?
Yeah. They actually burned him in production. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. And then, so I was surprised by how long he's got that, and then how long they keep him in this like inflatable plastic cast. Like he's immobilized for so much of the movie, and for somebody who's like good at slapstick, it was kind of strange. But like the other thing that I really love about John Candy, just in general, and not necessarily just in this movie, is I think he can take a really simple moment and not only play it for comedy, but make it seem like genuinely emotional. Like I'm thinking of when Scully first takes him out for a sailboat lesson, and I forget what it's like something with the jib or whatever, and he knocks Scully into the water with the sail, and so he's apologizing to him at the bar, and it just, I mean, he could have played it for laughs, but it seems like he's genuinely apologetic to the guy. He's like, that was my fault, and I'm sorry. But it's like there's moments like that, and then there's also later in the movie when he's having this heart to heart with his daughter. I found myself like getting choked up over that moment too. He says something like,
"Hey, can't win them all.
But you'd like to win one, wouldn't you?
One would be nice.
And I don't know, maybe that's just because I personally have been taking a lot of L's recently, but yeah, that moment really stuck with me. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
What about you? Was there anything that like stuck out for you with this Candy performance? Would you look for other lead roles of his?
I think like in terms of this type of actor, I'd look for more stuff from him. I don't know if I'd look for more stuff from other actors, but like I think I'm intrigued enough that I'd want to keep like if something's on or if I like want something to watch, I'm sure I could choose one. I don't know like if I'm going to like go on a John Candy journey. Like we can call it Candyland. And
there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I enjoyed what I watched. I just think, yeah, like I said before, he's not given a lot to work with.
Yeah, I would recommend any of the movies that he did with John Hughes, and there's a lot of them. It really gives him a chance to show off not only his comedy chops, but his drama as well, with a script that had some more thought put into it.
Mm-hmm. The only other Carl Reiner film that I've seen is Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid, which I think is a really interesting exercise in how to make a film.
I've never. That's Steve Martin too, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the one where they use tons of like film noir archival footage.
Okay, I think
sort
that's
of inform and
that's on
structure
my
the
list.
scenes.
Yeah, he did a bunch with Steve Martin. Of course, he did The Jerk. That's probably the biggest one. Have you seen that one?
Nope.
Yeah. I don't know that it completely holds up. It's especially now because Steve Martin is so far removed from that type of comedy that he was doing in the beginning of his career. It's like almost jarring because now I feel like he's known more as doing like straight man roles, where he's like in The Jerk, he's very out there.
The opening line of the synopsis in Letterboxd is, after discovering he's not really black like the rest of his family, likable dimwit Nevin Johnson sets off on a hilarious misadventure that takes him from rags to riches and back again. Interesting setup.
Yeah, I believe the opening line is, "I was born a poor black boy," and then you cut to Steve Martin. It's like, oh, okay,
that's funny.
Sure.
Yeah. Bernadette Peters is in it. Interesting.
She's good. They have a cute little duet moment in that movie. I can't remember if she's playing the ukulele or he's playing it, but and they sing "Tonight I Belong to You." It's very good actually. Rare little heartwarming moment in an otherwise kind of goofball slapstick movie.
Kind of movie. Yeah.
Oh, one of the other things I had about John Candy is, so over the credits we get all these like snapshots, photos of the crew or photos of the cast, and I guess those were all taken by Karen Austin, who plays Sandy. And so John Candy had given her a book on photography during production, and she just kind of ran with it. And it's there's really some great shots. There's one at the very end where it's like the whole family standing in front of the like the film shop. And I thought that was a nice little touch just to include that. It added some credibility to the trip, I guess.
Yeah, that there's all these mementos after it. Do you want to talk about any of the secondary or tertiary characters right now?
Yeah, I really liked Scully, Rip Torn's character, the pirate dive bar owner. One of the things I wrote down is that if this movie came out today, I feel like there would be so much fan fiction written about Jack and Scully's relationship.
Do you think?
I don't know. I felt like they had such good chemistry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely like rewrite this where it's Sandy ends up with Don. Like it's like they realize they're better apart than they are together, right? And then they go their separate ways and they have this like fun blended family.
I think you should write that script. I think that would be a great.
No, thank you.
We established in the last episode that because you watch so much Leave It to Beaver, you have all the secrets to screenwriting, as Zemeckis
That's so
told
right.
us. Yeah.
Yes. Well, if anyone wants to take that idea and run with it, go for it. Yeah, write that.
We give it to you.
They go back the next year, right? And oh my God, wait. They go back the next year and like they have that bomb with Scully and Sandy's excited to see Dawn again, right? And then it's like they realize that even though they had this year where things worked out, maybe it can be better in a different form.
And it just picks up from there, and we get another Jimmy Buffett song.
Yeah.
One of his
From Beyond the
unreleased
Grave.
yeah. In their first sailing lesson, when he's like, "We're gonna stay out here until you're a sailor," and then it cuts to it's like the middle of the night, and John Candy's like, "I bet you know some really good like old ocean songs."
Yeah.
And Rip Torn starts singing the theme song from the Love Boat.
Love Boat.
Oh my god, that
It was
killed me
good.
too. Him holding a shot glass with a hook hand really made me laugh for no good reason.
Take some balance.
Yeah.
Are you someone that gets like shot glasses from like as a souvenir? I feel like that sometimes people do that a lot.
Yeah. The kind of the running joke with my husband Darius and I is so he doesn't really drink, but every time I go someplace on vacation without him, which doesn't happen very much anymore, I'll bring him back a shot glass as a souvenir. So we do have a growing collection of shot glasses in our cabinet. And then he'll bring me back like a little fridge magnet. Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Cute.
What about you? Are you a big like shot glass collector?
Not. How do I phrase this? I have to take these meds, and what I do is I drink the medicine with syrup, and you mix it together in a slurry. And shot glasses are the best vessel for that.
Okay.
So, you would like go to my college dorm room, and I'd have like a couple shot glasses that are like purely medicinal. But it doesn't look that way.
Purely medicinal. Just loose shot glasses with a little bit of syrup in them.
It's not a glamorous life, but
you know what? This is real life though. It's not always glamorous.
and I have enough of them now. They just sort of like are around. Like I'm at my desk right now, and I have two right in front of me. Like I have a Jack Daniels one, that's just a regular Jack Daniels, and then I have one from Cologne, Germany. I feel like an influencer.
Yeah, right. Put the hand behind it. Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite one that I think my brother got me is one that looks like a medicine bottle, but is a shot glass.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I've got one that looks like it looks like I don't know if you've ever seen the huge like hurricane glasses from New Orleans. It's like
I
a big
think I have. Let me
green,
see.
like the bottom almost looks like a grenade, and then it's got the big like the long neck. I've got a shot glass that's basically a miniature version of that.
Okay. Yeah.
So that one's fun. It's kind of unwieldy because you try to do it and like it doesn't all come out. Like it gets kind of stuck. So then you ended up taking two shots. And if it's like a particularly nasty liquor, then the experience
you don't
is
want any more of that than
extended.
you have to have.
Yeah.
Experience is extended. I'm not really a shots person in general.
No, me neither.
We started going to this trivia, and for halftime they have tequila halftime, where if you get a shot of tequila, you get an extra point. And then then the guy, DJ Tone Deaf, plays the song Tequila, and you all go around and you cheers each other, and it's very cute. But I don't really do shots, so tequila, not my favorite.
My parents have this favorite bar that they go to during football to watch all the Packers games, and every time the Packers score a touchdown, everybody in the bar gets pudding shots. So
yeah.
yeah.
The Packers are normally pretty okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge football guy. I'm more into baseball, but I think we're okay.
The Brewers in Milwaukee.
Well, I'm a Cubs fan, which is odd because I live in Milwaukee. But yeah, I think the Packers are always like at least okay. Like it's pretty rare that we're dog shit.
Well, you're talking to a Clevelander, so I know that pretty well.
Yeah.
There was that year or 2 years when they had that parade after they lost like 20 games in a row. I didn't go to that, but I do remember they had installed these beer fridges in a lot of local bars. I think it was like Budweiser or something, and they were padlocked, and they would only open when the Browns won a game, and it was like mayhem when that happened.
We did it! Everybody's ringing, but we did it!
It was
unlock the fridge.
That's big deal.
That's really funny.
It was a victory fridge. Yeah,
a victory fridge. I like that. What else? Oh, I had the quote from Scully. We name vessels after women to remind us to treat them gently, like ladies. Thought that was an interesting one. What about you? Did you have a favorite tertiary character or anybody who was jumping out at you?
I do feel like I need to state that when we talked about Rip Torn last week, I did think I was thinking of Treat Williams completely different actors, but just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I thought Richard Crenna does a decent job being a real asshole
The villain,
as the villain, Al Pele. I actually thought that Ramoni made me feel more sympathy for him in a way that I didn't expect, because in the commentary he's talking a lot about like, how would you like if your town, the place that you live, is overrun every year, weeks on end, by tourists that
yeah.
just don't understand, like aren't chill anymore. And like, I totally get that John Candy's been standing in that line for 2 hours, but wouldn't you just go somewhere else? Like, wouldn't you just think,
Yeah.
maybe today's not the day we go to the yacht club? I don't know. I mean, it is shitty that Pele just like cuts in front of him with like 10 people and eats all the lobster. Like, that's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand a little bit of where he's coming from, where it's like, I can't even live in my own city, you know? All these people are here constantly, and that's annoying, right? Like,
Yeah, he almost makes you feel for him, and then
yeah,
and then you think back to like during the funeral scene where he's
yeah.
he's signing the deed to buy the property, and he's like, I have no surface to sign this, and he closes the casket.
Like slams it down,
and he uses the top of the casket to sign the.
And he turns someone away, right, from the viewing too. He's like, go. Like, he's like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah. One of the other notes I wrote down about Pele in particular was I really love to see an arrogant rich prick lose in a movie.
Oh, I mean,
that was
we know
fantastic.
I love to see men humbled, right? I love to see that. And that's a good example of what happened in this.
I feel like they set up his character so well too, because not only do you get him skipping ahead of everybody in line and like, you know, calling his wife little lady and all this shit, but then they cut to him at the table and he's laughing at his own jokes, and he's like, I just want to tell you that this meal is on you. And he's like, oh, you thought I was gonna say on me. It's like, oh my God, because everybody knows a guy like that who's like so far up his own ass, he thinks he's so funny. Yeah.
And like, you can like never get through to him, right? That's also part of it, is like, he's always gonna be right, and you can't ever tell him otherwise. And if you do, he's not gonna listen.
No.
I do think whoever played the gardeners, I know the father is Dick Anthony Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And
making his second Sounds of Sylvester appearance.
Yes. Do we get the name of the wife? Oh yeah, Sandra Dunstan Franks. I thought that was a fun little bit. I guess also part of my frustration in this movie is I feel like everything was telegraphed. Like, I knew what every beat was going to be, especially like this beat. Like when they go to the nice house, obviously you know that that's not going to be where they're staying. I didn't expect it to be like a family's home, perhaps maybe just like the wrong rental, but I thought that the gardeners were pretty effective in this short little scene to be like, what the hell are you doing here? This is not your house. But then also, why did they leave the keys in the mailbox?
Right. That didn't make much sense either.
Yeah. What else have we seen Dick Anthony Williams in, did you say?
He played Pretty Tony in The Mac.
Oh, lovely.
And then also, talking about the cast, there weren't any other connections to movies that we've covered so far. I didn't look to see if any of these characters will be returning. Or any of these actors will be returning. I don't think so. But Carrie Green, who plays the teenage daughter, Ramoni mentioned in the commentary that she was also in The Goonies, which came out earlier the same summer, 1985. So that's crazy to have both of those come out.
Yeah, I think that's so insane. And you're what, like 15 to 17, and like you have two. I mean, one big hit, right, and then another like fine movie. But I mean, she probably didn't go to school, right? That's probably like, when you're like an actor and you don't really go to school, but
right, you do like the homeschooling in your
big kid on campus,
trailer.
Right? Like you're like, I made one blockbuster hit, right? And it wasn't just a fluke, right? Then it shows that like, oh, I am an actor, right? I have this other film as well. But I think she retired probably pretty young, right? She did like maybe a couple others and that was it.
I think so, yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about child actors kind of fizzling out, and I mean, I think especially in the 1980s, it was a pretty not good time to be a child actor, especially a teenage child actor. So there may be something there. I hope there isn't. I hope that she just was like, I'm kind of, I did what I want to do, and move on. But yeah, I think he said in the commentary that she retired around like the late 90s, maybe.
Yeah.
So she still would have been like relatively early in her film career.
Mm-hmm. She is in a movie in 2012.
Okay.
But that seems like a one-off, basically.
Yeah. It was her big return.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we didn't talk about Lois Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fun character in this. She's not doing a whole lot, but And she doesn't have that many credits. She only has like 11 credits, which I think is interesting. Do you know her from anything else, or was this the first time you've seen her?
Let me look. I think this might be the first thing
She's in Stripes, if you've seen that.
I've seen Stripes. John Candy is also in Stripes. I did not enjoy it, but I haven't seen it in a long, long time. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I would know.
She was a model more, right? Before she was an actor?
Yes, that's right, yeah. And I mean, she is very pretty.
When she was not involved in a feature film or television project, Hamilton took to the skies, where she was a licensed private pilot. She logged over 600 hours in the air and was an aerobatic pilot flying her 1936 German biplane. That's crazy.
Good for her.
Oh my God, sorry. She fled to Brazil rather than facing prison time.
Jeez, buried the lead.
For an accident in which she was involved while driving under the influence.
Oh boy.
Oh my God. And then she had a fatal overdose. Sleeping pills, self-inflicted.
Christ. Wow. Rest in peace, Lois Hamilton, I guess.
TV Guide article.
Jesus.
Wow. What a
crazy,
God, what a turn.
Crazy life.
Wow. Okay. How do we move on from that?
Yeah, right. We haven't had a Kev's Law in one of our movies in a while. I didn't bother bringing it up in Back to the Future just because it was like, we're going to have so much else to talk about. But, for new listeners, Kev's Law is our tribute to our friend and future guest, Kev, co-host of Austin Danger Podcast and Laurie Strode Trap House. And it's basically the idea that in a 90-minute movie, at or around the 1 hour mark, you need something that kind of shakes up the script and propels you toward the final climax of the movie. And so, hang on a sec, we do have a Kev's Law drop, so hang on.
It felt really short that time. Is that how short the clip is?
It must be, yeah, unless Riverside is doing something weird with it. That's the first time we've had a chance to actually use that. But so in this movie, Kev's Law is, at the 1 hour mark, Jack decides to enter the Citrus Cove Regatta against Pelé, and we get the first of two little montages of he and Scully preparing the barnacle. So that's where it kind of shifts from being like, they're on vacation, nothing's going right, and we suddenly change to, okay, we're going to be in this race, we got to get the boat ready. So that's Kev's Law. I had a couple other notes about the crew.
Yeah.
So one of the studio heads had been at Universal before he moved over to Paramount, and he was at Universal when they were making Jaws. And so he was so traumatized by famously all the issues that Jaws had with filming on the ocean and like all the logistics of that he initially wanted to cut all of the sailboat aspects of this movie, because he was like, no, I've seen like how difficult filming on the ocean can make things.
True. I mean, that's bad.
So he wanted all that cut. And I think even in the final product, they're not really out on the ocean that long. Like they're pretty close to shore for a lot of it.
Kind of like a bay, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so Carl Reiner directed this movie with John Candy. He did a lot of movies with Steve Martin. So that may have been something that the two actors bonded over when they were on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's
he
right.
He wanted to do, Ramone said in the commentary that Reiner had wanted to do another movie with John Candy, but it didn't end up getting pulled together. And then, of course, John Candy died pretty young. They were going to do a remake
of The Last Holiday, right? Is that what it was? They said.
I think that's right. Yeah, and they just couldn't get it to work out. The cinematography for this movie was by Rick Wheat, who had a huge 1984. He did Red Dawn and Footloose. And then just a few years later, he would do another movie with John Candy. He did cinematography on The Great Outdoors, which I mentioned earlier.
What year was Footloose?
84, I believe.
So do you think that's why they got the song in this?
I think so. I think it must be. Because they have it's really silly because she's listening to it on her Walkman or whatever when they're at the theater, and then they walk past like a giant poster for Footloose.
Yeah. Kind of like, is it product placement if it's your own film that you're,
Right. Well, and then they also
promoting?
have, what was the other one? It was a movie that you guys just covered on Big White Elephants recently. Because I remember Eric what was that? What are some other 80s movies that you guys covered lately?
Go to my list of Big White Elephant episodes you can find on my Letterboxd page.
They were walking past the theater and it was a poster on the side, but I can't for the life of me.
From the 80s. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to run down. Where did the 80s start here? In this list. Okay. Fame, Xanadu, Top Secret.
Top
The
secret. It
Legend.
was top secret.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
they had a top secret poster on the side of the theater, and then a huge Footloose one. So it's just Paramount being like, hey, we made these. Check these out too.
Look at these
Um,
films. Yeah.
yeah. And then there were two assistant directors on this movie, Albert Shapiro and Marty Ewing, and both of those guys will return to Sounds of Silvestri later on. So Shapiro
Mm.
worked on The Bodyguard with our your favorite Kevin Costner,
Oh, no.
and
Uh-huh.
Marty Ewing did some assistant directing on Death Becomes Her.
Ooh, okay.
Another Zemeckis. So a lot of
Much more excited
connections
about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. The rest of my notes are just quotes, basically. Did you have any other minor stuff?
Yeah, so in the commentary, Ramoni talks about this being an example of the slobs versus snobs movie genre,
Yes.
which is quite honestly not one that I am familiar with. Do you have any films that you have seen that would fit into this? And do you have any recommendations from that category?
When he mentioned it, I was like, oh, that's a great point. Like, that was very big in the 80s because you've got the whole, like, everyman, yuppie conflict there. Caddyshack is probably the best example because it literally
Okay.
takes place on, at a country club. So you've got, like, all the townies,
Yeah.
and then you've got the Richie Riches. Great Outdoors is another good example, but I've mentioned that one a few times. I feel like most of the John Hughes movies are pretty good examples of slobs
Okay.
versus snobs.
Mhm.
Like, I almost feel like Breakfast Club would be a lesser example of that. I don't know that Bender is necessarily a slob as much as he is like like an anarchist.
Yeah.
Um,
A recluse.
and then, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is to bring in another John Candy example. Because, that's Steve Martin, who's like this uptight, like yuppie cynic. And then John Candy is like, I mean, he is literally a slob. They get into their hotel room and he's like, it's almost like a bomb went off. He just immediately, his suitcase is completely unloaded. He's got, underwear in the sink and all this stuff. But yeah, that's definitely like a type of film that I'm going to look more into.
Would you count Fast Times at Ridgemont High as one?
I think so.
I don't know if
I
that
think that
quite
fits.
works. Maybe it's a couple more clicks than needs to be, but I
Yeah.
thought maybe that could be something.
Yeah, people can write in if they have a favorite, if they have any other examples of slobs versus snobs, because I think I really like that
Which
description.
side do you fall on?
Yeah, we get all these. I'm sure. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's tough because nobody wants to be a snob, but I don't know if anybody would want to be
A slob. Either.
described as a slob either. Yeah.
I think the fact that I don't want to be described as a slob means I'm a snob. Like,
That's
is it
tough.
sort of like, yeah.
That's hard. Sounds of Silvestri, the Slobs versus Snobs podcast.
And that's what they always say.
Yep. That's it. A couple of the other quotes that I had.
Okay.
When they're leaving the first house, and John Candy runs upstairs because he forgot his daughter, and she's like, "Daddy, I wet my bed." He says, "No, sweetheart, you didn't wet your bed. You wet their bed."
Well, but he went upstairs for his Noxema. And
He
then he's
needed
like,
his
oh,
Noxema. Yeah.
and my daughter. Forgot her too.
Priorities.
There is that horrible ADR in towards the end where it's like so clearly not her voice. And Ramoni talks about how it's Ramoni talks about how it's the mom, right? Who Karen Allen, who voices the daughter for a hot sec because they couldn't get her back on set.
Very odd choice. And I don't even remember what she says, so it's like it's not as if it was a pivotal.
I didn't think it was anything pivotal, right? Yeah, I think you could just like have her not speak. Just a thought.
Maybe that was one of the notes in the test screening. They're like, we really feel like
we need one
like
more
she
line.
should have said something. The toddler didn't speak enough. Oh, one of the things that Sandy says to John Candy, he's like, he's a little insecure about his looks. And he's like, well, I didn't bring a bathing suit. I'm not going to go swimming. She's like, I love the way you look in a bathing suit. He goes, my mother was right. You're twisted. I like
very
that.
Sweet, though. Have you ever sailed or rowed at a regatta?
No, I don't even think I've ever been on a sailboat, period.
I've never been on a sailboat, but I did row for a semester in college.
Mm.
It was something that I had like a couple high school friends that went to my school, but we didn't really hang out. And it was like
Yeah.
sort of a last gasp effort for people to try and hang out, this other girl and I. And she was like, we can either do rugby or rowing. And I said, well, let's do crew. And yeah, I rowed for a whole semester. It was amusing because there were 8 of us that like were rookies signing up, and we were all vastly different heights.
Yeah.
So I was bow seat, and I actually the shoes in the boat were so small I had to get extra tennis shoelaces and tie my feet in, which
Oh
is
my
not good
God.
if one were to, if the boat were to, capsize or whatever.
Capsize, yeah.
But I was having issues where if you like when you catch the water wrong, it's called like catching a crab.
Mm.
And if I were to do that, there were times when I, with my feet not tied in, I literally almost flew out the back of the boat because there's just so much force happening. But like when we had to carry our boat, because it was an 8-seater, it like truly was like a diagonal, because the girl in front was like maybe 5'11", a whole foot taller than me, right? And it's just like a sliding scale, literally.
It's scraping the ground.
It was fun. I think it was just too much to keep doing it, but like time-wise, but something I'm always thinking about maybe getting back into.
Your college years fascinate me. It feels like you were involved with so many extracurriculars. Like, I don't know how you had, there's not enough hours in the day.
I mean, I was busy,
Yeah.
but not as busy as I was in high school, I think. High school was crazy.
Okay.
But I also don't like to say no to things, so
That does make it
here
tough.
we are overcommitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to be the person that sits at the front of the boat and is just yelling at everybody to row? I feel like
you
I'd
can
be
like
great.
there were some people on crew that like were like, oh, I want to be the coxswain this semester.
Oh, is that
And
what
I
it's
was like,
called?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'd love to do that.
I think that'd be miserable, like because you're so close, right?
Yeah.
And you're like either you have your little headset or you have like a megaphone, and like the person whose stroke seat is like just sweating all over you, right? And there's water
Ugh.
splashing everywhere, and you're trying to
Ugh.
control this boat. Like I'd rather be flying out the back than trying to like control everyone in the front.
And that's the difference between the two of us.
Yeah.
Well, that
You wouldn't be
will-
yelling at people.
that'll be a meetup activity. Is
Mhm.
we'll do some rowing, and
Yeah.
I'll sit in the front, and then we'll switch off, and we'll see how it goes. Row,
I think on a
goddamn
one
it.
person though, you don't need a coxswain.
Okay.
That's only for 4s and 8s, I think.
See, my knowledge is very limited in this respect.
Did you ever see Boys on the Boat? That's a movie about rowing.
I saw the trailer. I've seen The Social Network, where the Winklevoss twins.
I shouldn't. When it's that band frat I was in, we had nicknames, and mine was based on that movie. I'm not going to talk more about it because I don't think anyone cares, but I feel like I shouldn't say what it is.
Okay.
Because they were secret.
Okay. Yeah.
It was sort of
keep
just like a
keep
form
it to
of
yourself.
bullying.
Don't disclose that.
Yeah, we would have nickname night where we'd
Aw.
go over the new batch of kids and figure out their nicknames based on very niche things.
Nickname night. That's cute. Oh God. No, I never had anything fun like that in college. I did student government, where everybody was up their own
Well, that
ass.
takes up so much of your time.
Yes.
What else did you do? And what were your other extracurriculars in college?
I didn't have many, and that's something that I regret. So I did student government. That took up a lot of time because I was like one of the vice presidents, so I was technically getting paid for
God.
it. So I had to
wow, okay.
I had to do work. And then I was in the College Democrats, but I've mentioned to you before that like because Milwaukee is such a blue city, like nobody needed to go to a special club meeting because like if they wanted to talk to like-minded people, they could just talk to anybody. So we never did very much with that. And then of course, during like my third year of college and your third year, then COVID hit, so that kind of shut things
put
down.
an end to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opposite experience where I was in college Dems, but because it's such a Republican stronghold,
Yeah.
in Oxford. But I think I couldn't go to the meetings because it conflicted with another thing. But I was in this big college Dems group chat, and we have a lot of people that would come to campus who, were famous conservatives.
Yep.
And there were lots of coordinating of, can we try and milkshake them? That was a big thing. I remember when Paul Ryan brought his daughter to tour, it was like, can we get him?
If only.
I think someone went up to him with it, but didn't deal the death knell or whatever. But attempts were made.
Yuck. Yeah. Sometimes I remember that he was my representative for the first 18 years of my life. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah.
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 The connections.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know. There weren't that many. I mean, there were activities, but there wasn't anything that I necessarily was interested in because, like,
How
I was
many
never.
kids were on your campus?
That's a great question. I mean, like with a lot of universities, public universities, the admission has been dwindling for years. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it was close to 20,000 when I was going. It was
Okay, yeah.
probably a little less than that. And then, but
Uh-huh.
it's just been like dropping like a stone for years
Yeah,
and
I don't know what
years.
Miami's at now. I know when I was there, it was like 16,000 undergrads.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I work for a very small school right now, so
Yeah.
it's interesting to see.
Did you have any other minor notes, or do we want to get into our next segment?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. Color me surprised. All right. Well, we will get into fanfare or flop. So this is our segment where we break down the box office versus the budget, as well as the audience and critical reception, and whether there were any award nominations or wins for the movie overall or for Alan Silvestri. And Grace, I think it's your turn.
Yeah, so Summer Rental had an estimated budget of 11 million. I cannot confirm this. It was written in one article about, I think, maybe Karen Allen, but it was not on the AFI page. There was nothing about the budget anywhere. So potentially 11 million. Mentioned it was released on August 9th, 1985. It made a total box office of $24 million, which is pretty impressive for a late summer hit.
Yeah.
There are no reviews from major critics, such as Siskel or Ebert or Pauline Kael. There is a basic one for the New York Times, but it doesn't really take a perspective, and it's just, it really feels like you're just trying to get the word count, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Metacritic has some where they're, they're not the nicest. The one that I thought was funny is from the Washington Post by Paul Atasio. Summer Rental is the kind of movie that could make you wish you had poison ivy. At least the scratching would occupy your mind.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
There's some bad ones.
Yeah.
This is from David Anson from Newsweek. The indignities inflicted on the Chester family by writers Jeremy Stevens and Mark Reisman are barely clever enough to sustain a half-hour TV show. Carl Reiner directed this tepid farce as if half asleep.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. That's
Yeah.
rough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ramoni mentions in the commentary that this opened at number 2 behind Back to the Future, which was in its 6th week at the time.
Damn, okay.
And that got me thinking, do you think, I can't think of anything else where this would apply, but was this the only time in Silvestri's career that he had a film in both the number 1 and the number 2 slot?
Yeah, I think as time goes on, they're not as notable, and
Right.
then, and then they're too spread apart. So I
Right.
don't think it would really work out, because I don't think, looking
Well,
at,
and
if we're
like
looking
when he
at
starts
what's
working on
ahead,
the
I don't know
Avengers
if
movies,
anything.
that's really the only thing that he'll do in a year. Like he's not doubling
Yes.
up on stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if, like, God, and some of these release dates are, like, they're not close enough together at
Right.
all. Yeah, because, I really don't know if there's anything. I guess we'll have to see as we continue on, but he does a lot in 94.
Okay.
Like, I'm wondering, at what point was Forrest Gump, did it release at number, or did it come out at number 1?
I feel like it must have. That was like a smash hit. But it's like, what
Because then
else would he have been doing at that time? And
Well,
would it have been as
he has
popular?
Clean Slate before it, and then he follows it up with
Okay.
Blown Away and Richie Rich. And I
Yeah,
just don't think those
see,
are going to make the cut.
no. And I feel like Richie Rich was probably far enough removed that unless, I don't know what type of legs Forrest Gump had, if it would have still been at like, and I don't know
Yeah.
what number on the, on the charts Richie Rich premiered at, but it's like, I just thought that was crazy to, to basically be battling yourself in the box office. Like and to still, like we mentioned in our last episode, to still be, relatively early in your career, like still like, early to mid 30s, and you've got like the number 1 and number 2 slot. And then also, this movie also outperformed Pee-wee's Big Adventure in its first weekend, which is crazy
wow.
because that movie has had such a long
Such
lasting
legs.
legacy, and like this one is, I feel like, pretty much forgotten. So it's interesting how things shake out over time.
I wonder what the release dates are between Who Framed Roger Rabbit and God, is it Mac and Me after? Because
Well,
I could think Who Framed Roger Rabbit could have legs potentially.
yeah, I don't know that
don't
Mac
know.
and Me was a huge hit, though.
I feel like it's a cult classic now, but
Yeah, so it could be like Roger Rabbit #1, Mac and Me 26 or something, you know.
Yeah.
Any any nominations on this
No
movie?
nominations, no awards. So surprising, I know.
That's
Who could have
shocking.
called it?
Let's get into the Alan of it all. So, do you think that Silvestri's score was the secret sauce in this movie, or do you think that they could have replaced him and it would not have made a difference?
I don't think it was quite either. I think
Yeah.
it's fine for what it is, but they don't use him as well as he could be utilized. And what he's giving them is also not quite as notable as he's done in the past, as we've seen, obviously, with Back to the Future. So it's just kind of a mid-tier one for me in terms of how Alan is used and how he, like, what work he created for this, which is not like a really exciting thing to talk about. But I mean, I like little island flair stuff in the marimbas or whatever, but that's not going to be stuck in my head forever. There's not like a lasting note that stays with me.
No, it's absent from so much of the movie, like we talked about. So it's like I mean, it almost feels like they did remove him from the movie. And
they
it
did
didn't,
from a decent chunk of the film, and we were,
yeah.
well, I guess they did. Yeah, we were like, where is he? So I guess that's like a point in his column where like he was pretty crucial because we are missing some of him, and then we did notice it, right? Like it was not there. So,
But if we weren't the hosts of an Alan Silvestri podcast, do you think we would still feel that way, or do you...
No, probably not.
Probably not.
I think we are extremely tuned in to this environment.
Well, before we get into our final scores here, we do have a voicemail from Eric. So I'll play that.
Transmission coming in. Repeat, we have a transmission coming in.
Hey, Clarence and Grace. This is Research Assistant Eric calling in again. I wanted to start this off by congratulating you guys on making it to the big one, Back to the Future. What a perfect movie and what a magnificent score by Alan. I just love that movie so much, and I really enjoyed hearing y'all talk about it with producer Dave. Could have heard y'all discuss it for another 2 hours and I would have never been bored. It's just such an amazing movie. Really a groundbreaking concept of a podcast that y'all have that you're peaking at episode 12.
Wow.
I say that, but I really haven't seen much movies that Alan has covered up until when you get to Back to the Future 2 in, 6 months?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go on this journey with y'all and hopefully discover some diamonds in the rough that Alan was working on in the late 80s. Now on to the Summer of Sounds of Silvestri with Summer Rental. I had so much hopes for this movie. I really loved John Candy and the 80s comedy National Lampoon's Vacation vibe that I was going for. Really works for me a lot of times. But this just didn't really connect. I felt a lot of the jokes and ideas they brought, they never committed to in a lot of ways. And even the Alan Silvestri score, which is so fun, gives me very tropical, like Donkey Kong vibes. It just seems like they forgot that they had Alan for like the good middle third of this movie.
Yeah.
He just didn't show up in like any scene. And like the final 20, 30 minutes, they were like, oh shoot, we have access to Alan Silvestri, we should use him. And then he starts popping up in every scene. You get that really fun Jimmy Buffett song as well. Wish you could find that streaming or anywhere really. Only on YouTube, I think. But yeah, glad I watched it. Glad this movie exists. Good to see John Candy get his first leading role. And excited to see what else you guys cover the rest of the summer. Later, y'all.
Thank you, Eric. I don't know how I feel about you saying that we're peaking at episode 12.
Yeah, kind of rude.
You'd think a research assistant associated with the show would...
believe in it a little bit more. God.
Man, rough. Glad it exists. Anytime somebody says that they're glad something exists, that's just like...
Game over.
Yeah, that's it. I think Eric gave this 2.5 stars, and he messaged us afterwards and was like, that even feels like too much. It's like, oh, whew. And then I think producer Dave gave it 3 stars, which for Dave, I mean, that's like 2.5
stars.
Yeah. Well, Grace, where are you landing on this one?
Yeah, I think I went in with an open heart, and I just didn't find much there to sustain it. I think Alan's fine in it. John Candy's fine. I just think that, like, as I said, they're not given much to work with, and so it doesn't result in much of a film. I guess I'm more intrigued by the behind-the-scenes stuff than the actual film itself. My when I logged the commentary, I said that I thought that was much more interesting than the movie, and I think that's probably where I stand. Like, I liked to learn about it, but I didn't like watching it. And I think like, gosh, like the stakes should be there, right? But it's just like if we're like on a little, and we get to like level 3 every time, we never get to level 5, right? Like we're just sort of there and just like this really small little peaks and valleys. But yeah, I wish there was more, and there isn't. And for a movie like I feel like we've seen, for good or for bad, sometimes we've seen some of these movies, like 90 minutes feels like a lot, and sometimes it doesn't feel like anything at all. And I think this is just a weird one where like you're like, oh, I'm aware the time is passing, but I'm not really watching anything of value. So yeah, I think I am at 2 stars.
Okay. So
below the Doberman line.
I was going to say below the Doberman gang line. Yeah. Yeah, I said at the top of the episode, I love John Candy. I had a couple beers while I was watching this. So
Do we need a few small beers soundbite?
I will drop it. I will drop it in there. Yeah.
Few small beers.
Yeah. So I feel like that probably affected how the comedy was hitting for me. But then like near the end of the movie, I thought it was building to something more exciting or more impactful. And then, like we said, they win the regatta. And then it just ends. It's just roll credits. And that really affected my experience overall. I felt a lot cooler on it than I had in the 80 minutes leading up to it. So, I think I'm at 3 stars for this one. I still love John Candy, but it's not one where like if I'm itching for a John Candy movie, like this isn't going to be the one that I go to. Even like, even for if I'm looking for a John Candy summer movie, I'm going to go to like The Great Outdoors or something like that. Like, I'm happy that it helped kick off his career, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, if anybody else wants to reach out with their thoughts about anything, really, as long as it's not mean to Alan Silvestri, they can send us an email at soundsofsilvestri@gmail.com or hit us up on our hotline at 414-295-9966. And, Grace, we're going way back for this next episode, further than we've ever gone before.
Further than anyone has ever journeyed, I think.
What will we be covering? At
the dawn of mankind, a woman led the way. Natural changes have the clans moving. Isa, medicine woman of the clan of the Cave Bear, finds little Isla from the other's clan. Tradition would have the clan kill Isla immediately, but Isa insists on keeping her. When the little one finds the most needed new cave, she's allowed to stay and thrive. This is from 1986, The Clan of the Cave Bear.
Do you know anything about this movie? Have you ever heard of this movie?
I know that maybe they don't talk a lot in this, is what I've heard.
That's what I read as well. I think they do a primitive version of sign language. So we're going to get a lot of score from Silvestri,
Are we going to get subtitles with that sign language, or are we just supposed to interpret what
God, I hope
they're
there's
saying?
Subtitles. Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine? Unless it's like super descriptive sign language, that might be rough.
David Sims gave this 2.5 stars.
Okay. I know it has Daryl Hannah, who will return to us on this journey when we cover Grumpy Old Men. And then the only other thing that I know about this is I guess it's based on a series of novels that it seems like everybody's mom was really into at the time. So
and I'm afraid to find out why, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be rough. Well, we forgot to mention this on our last episode, so is this streaming anywhere? Is this available anywhere?
This will be a rental.
Okay.
Or a library.
Yeah, support your local library, folks.
I still haven't returned Back to the Future. I need to do that.
I'm just scrolling through some of the pictures from oh my God. Yeah, the makeup on the Neanderthals is very silly.
There's 6 books in the series.
Oh my God.
I can't get the movie. What the hell? Guess I'm renting it.
Well, good luck, folks. We'll see you in the next one. We'll all figure out together whether this has subtitles, what's the deal with it.
Yep.
Oh, wow, this does not look good.
Looks bad.
Yeah. It's a very striking cover. I'll give them that.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to keep up with all things SOS, you can follow the show on Instagram at Sounds of Silvestri. You can also reach out to us at soundsofsilvestri@gmail.com or leave a message at 414-295-9966. We are both on Letterboxd. Clarence is at CK_LB and I am at GraceEllen_. This episode was edited by Clarence with production help from Dave and Ben. And as always, a big thank you to Alan Silvestri. Bye!